and you're going to get a lot. You're going to hear a lot of new terms, a lot of new things going on in the world of GEO, Generative Engine Optimization. It is a hot topic today, and you guys need to jump into this and jump into it soon. You need to understand it, and that's why we wanted to put out this this educational webinar for you today. I got to tell you, GEO is kind of like where we were 15, almost 20 years ago with AI. With SEO, and it's really a greenfield opportunity today. But that, you probably had 4 or 5 years of great SEO, if you all remember back in the day, 20 years ago, where you really could have some really good gains in the SEO game. Well, those obviously are going down. We'll show that in just a moment. But more importantly, GEO is coming way up. And you need to pay attention to this, obviously, because it's super, super, super important. All right, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. And yeah, I'm really, really excited to share with you today all this really great information. So first thing is, search has changed. We know that. And are you really ready? As I just said, the old way of doing it, and again, we all know this, is really click, search, and search first, then you click, and then you go over to a website and you do your research and you're comparing and you're doing different things. And that's just not the way it's done today. The old behaviors that we all know for the last 20 to 25 years that Google has infused in us is changing rapidly, because a new way of doing it is AI is giving answers, not links, okay? And basically what that means is that the answers are actually occurring inside of the AI search engine, which never really happened before AI. Google doesn't really give any answers per se. Yeah, they started to a little bit here. And then, of course, they introduced their AI engine and integrated it. So it's certainly much more answer-oriented now when they go into the AI mode. But that's really that's AI search, right? But traditional search hasn't been able to do that. So really what we're talking about here is the activity, the research, the customer behavior is actually occurring in the AI search engine and less so on your website. So it's going to start to change the dynamics, and then all of these other things kind of come out from that. So if you're not part of the answer, you're invisible. Essentially, just like SEO, where you didn't rank before in SEO, the same thing. But the approach that you need to take in order to get to the answer, to become the answer, I'm going to lay it out for you here today, but it's completely different, right? So customers are also changing in terms of their behavior. They're not actually browsing anymore. They are asking natural questions in the natural language. What is the best running shoe for my flat feet? Okay, if you type that into a search engine, you probably aren't going to get the right answer. But if you type that into an AI search engine, you're going to get a bunch of products, and you want to be part of that recommendation. And that's what we need to do, is we need to make you the authority. That's the key word today. You the authority. I'm going to show you how to do it. To then be the source for those answers. And it is absolutely doable. And by the way, the AI search engines want you to do this. They want you to be the expert because they need your information. And I'll show you how all of this mixes in with your products and all the existing information you have, mixes together with general knowledge together to really form these very, very interesting guides that we're going to talk a little bit more about. So, and also this whole idea of they ask, they get answers, and then they decide. And they decide, and by the time they've decided, they're already clicking over to the website that they're most likely to buy on. So that's very different, because in the SEO world, right, you click on a link, you look at the products, you compare pricing, you look on the next one, you look on the next one. No, all that's done right now in the AI search engine. So discovery is now controlled by AI, which is really, really interesting. So you need to know that, because the way that you structure your websites, the way that you interact with these search engines are all different now. Now, this slide blows me away. So let's just break it down a little bit. And I mean, you can see it right away. The blue line is organic search. That's traditional organic search. And what you see is a dramatic decline. I think all of you already know that search is going down. Every time I get on the phone with any of a retailer or brand manufacturer or what have you, they're all saying that my SEO is dying, my search traffic is dying. What do I do? Well, the red line is, and this is just shopping, by the way. This isn't the entire internet. This is just shopping. And we're going to see by the end of about a year from now, Q1, end of Q1 2027, where AI search engines are going to surpass the traffic that comes from traditional organic search. So that just means that you have to pay attention. And you have about a year, but you need to establish your connection now so that you're ready in a year and you're seated in those engines in a year and you're the answer. We'll give you all the data to support this in just a second. So this is what's happening. You can either jump on board or not, but you need to start paying attention. The good thing is that you're not behind right now, because everybody's behind. So, there's still a real big opportunity here. All right. Clicks are disappearing. This is another interesting phenomenon of this behavior that's going on. And the old way, again, that we used to do is search, click, visit, right? Many clicks, many links, many clicks. We're trying to get as many links into the SEO search engine as possible. That is not the game that we're playing now. The game that we're playing now is this idea of really, the phenomenon is called zero-click searches, where somebody goes in and gets their answer and leaves. Now, if they want to actually make a purchase, then they'll click on over. They'll click on over to your website. But instead of clicking 2, 3, 4, 5 times, they may click once or twice. The other interesting phenomenon about AI, the results that come out of AI search are much more trusted, because the most consumers believe that you can't game the AI system. And you can't. It's a lot more authentic than organic search has gotten. And a lot of people know that organic search and paid search is all kind of woven together. Google's woven it together over the years, and they don't know if they necessarily trust the best results or the best or the best result for them. The AI search engine is different. If you don't know something and you go in and you ask a question, it is the authority, and that's just the dominance that it's given now, which is very, very interesting as well. So we've got to make you part of the answer. Now, I added this slide because I think it's really important to understand about your website and how your website is seen in these search engines, but also seen to AI in general. The bottom line is that most sites are built for humans, not AI. Now, should we be building our websites for AI only? Absolutely not. Humans still need to use our websites. So I think it's a balance. It's a balance of injecting components into your website that AIify it and that make it more attractive to the AI engines out there, AI search engines specifically. So we don't need to overhaul your entire site. Over time, that is going to happen. My vision is that your e-commerce website is going to turn into more of a ask and answer. And a lot of what you see today is going to go away. And a lot of it's going to be a prompt based. That's how they're going to interact with the site. There's still going to be lots of glitz and glamour around it, but I think things are going to change. But that's not for today. That's for 5 years from now, 3 years from now, wherever we go. But so I'm not saying reconstruct your website, but what I am saying is, here are the things that you need to be thinking about. First of all, you've got to answer questions on your website. FAQs are wildly important, okay, to AI search engines. Now, and the reason they are is because AI search engine, I'm going to say this a couple of times, loves structure. And it's very interesting because AI in general, AI doesn't like structure. It can figure things out without structure, which is one of its brilliance, right? But in the game of GEO, everything needs to be structured. It wants specific answers to specific questions, specific direction. And that's one of the things we're going to show you in our product today. But you've got to be better at answering questions. So adding FAQs, or what we call product answers, we actually have a product that does this, where we present questions, generate questions via AI, answer those questions all on the page, and consumers love it. They use it like crazy. It's our #1 used tool. So that becomes really important to make sure your sites are structured to answer questions. Now, even as part of GEO and as part of our launch of our product, we can inject those questions into the website. So next thing is poor structure, poor content structure. AI can't understand or extract your content. It's structured as an e-commerce site for humans and not in the way that it is. So if I can start to embed things in your site, or you can start to embed things in your site that bring this out, then we can quickly get to where you need to go. There's no authority signals. This is an interesting one. There are some reviews, building trust. Your domain is an authority signal to the AI search engines, but also it's looking at another thing, which is really interesting. You need to pay attention to. It's looking at all your social channels. So if you're really light on social, and it's not something we're addressing right now, but I want to make sure you understand it, that if you're that what's going on in your social channels is also influencing GEO as well, because it's looking at the totality of your brand out there on the internet. It's not looking at just your website, which is really interesting. But if we can embed more authority signals inside your website, you become stronger and stronger and stronger to the AI search engines as well, okay? So there's got to be a reason to come to you. Domain authority is one. Most everybody that's listening to this webinar right now probably has 20 plus years of domain authority. That's a good thing. And your site traffic also plays into it a bit. But smaller sites also do have a real advantage here as well. Maybe not in that particular metric, but in becoming the authority in terms of content, you will win over the big brands. So this is leveling the playing field, I think, a lot more for the smaller brands as well. And I think you need to take that into account. Here's the big one, though. Your site right now doesn't have a system in place to maximize any of this. What AI sees is chaos. They look at your website, if they can even see your website, or they can see your website, trust me, but can we make it a little bit more accessible? Yes. We do a technical analysis as well to figure out some things that you need to patch up technically on the website so it's more open to AI search engines as well. We can cover that at another time. But there's no system in place, and there has to be a system in place for connecting all of this together. It doesn't just work on its own. You don't just stick a couple of guides up and say, good, they can now see it. That's not the way this thing works at all. So the problem is the problem with your site is it wasn't built for AI. We just need to tweak it a little bit. We need to massage it a little bit so it can be more built for AI, but still retain all the human components of it. All right. Now, I do like this slide just because this idea of SEO versus GEO, it's kind of basic, but at the same time, I want to make sure you understand this. So in SEO world, we care about ranking pages, we care about keywords, we care about stuffing keywords and making as many keywords as we possibly can, long tail, short tail, whatever. And we care about, ultimately getting that traffic. And then of course that traffic ultimately will drive hopefully a purchase. And that's kind of the old world that we live in. Here's the deal. Two things that I want you to know. First, SEO is not dead. So we still need to make sure that we optimize for SEO. Okay, we don't want to abandon that. And by the way, everything we do for GEO is 100% applicable to SEO as well in our product. I just want to make sure you know that because anything we do in GEO is going to strengthen your SEO as well. And we've engineered in, but you can do it as well. You don't have to use our product in order to do this. Is you can engineer in a kind of a hybrid model to where you can get the SEO benefit while you're working really hard and spending money on GEO. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind as well. There's a way to do it. We figured it out, and we'll share it with you. We'll share everything with you. So the GEO, so the SEO, we all know the GEO is really about earning the spot. You got to earn the spot and get selected by the AI search engines to answer the question. So the more that you become an authority, the more, not necessarily the more content, but the right content that answers customers' questions is critical, right? So we want to make sure that you're not only part of the AI answer, that you're topical to the questions that people are asking as well. We have a way to figure that out. Also, you're the authority. You're the authority because you've got so much, well, I say so much content. You have the right content that's reinforcing your authority. And I keep using that word because that's the key word here as well. And that's how you get chosen in the AI search engines. Now, we want to move from rankings, which is what you've all been thinking about, and throw away a lot of what you know about SEO because it's not going to help you on GEO, honestly. Now, Google says, well, good. I saw a presentation that they did a couple weeks ago. Good GEO starts with good SEO. Yeah, right. That's a little bit of BS on their part. Okay, I think anyway. I think you should have great SEO, but the content, like a buyer's guide, if you think your current buyer's guides are going to work for GEO, you're wrong. They all need to be rewritten for GEO, okay, and need to be enhanced. They don't know what your buyer's guides are right now. So we need to move into this direction as well. So we're going from rankings to recommendations, okay? And that is very important. No longer are we just focused on this idea of getting the highest rankings and such. We need to become the answer to get the advantage. Now, this is a really important concept here that you can have either commoditized content or AI selected content, or commoditized versus non-commoditized, which is kind of a big thing today. It's starting to gain favor. So I wanted to introduce the concept to you. Commoditized content is generic. It's rewritten content, and it's the same for everyone. It's kind of ignored by the AI search engines, right? Here's how you do it though. If you can create and mix your product data with your conversations, whether in chat or through AI conversations, we'll talk about that in just a minute, with all of the content on your site, so products, all the external content on your site, your proprietary information and brand gets mixed with content that's generated by AI and topics that you care about and topics you want to dominate. All of a sudden you have AI selected content, clear answers because the information is structured properly, unique insights into that because it's mixing together everything you are with everything it can generate, and then it can generate literally hundreds or thousands of guides. Now, it's not, again, volume. It's owning a particular authority around a particular topic. That's the key. So we'll get to that. I'll actually show you this live and how it actually works. And then the other way to get selected by the AI search engines is well-structured content. It's all about how the structure, even down to the H1, H2, and H3 tags, those are wildly important to have when you structure a guide. And I'm going to show you how to structure a guide. That you have H1, H2, and H3 tags embedded in because it tells so much to the AI search engines, right? This is a new science. This is a new way of looking at things as well. All right. So this is the slide. We're going to deliver the slides to you anyway. You're welcome to have them. But this is a slide. If you want to take a screen capture, just don't take a screen capture of me down there in the corner because I'm not looking too good today. But no, you take a screenshot of this. This is the map. This is the roadmap. I'm going to explain this in detail because once you understand this, you're going to be able to win the AI search game. Okay. So what we're going to do first of all, is the discovery process. I love this process. I'm going to show you this process. This process is understanding first, what topics do you want to own? Now, I want you to base those topics on a couple of things. What do you want to own as a brand? You want to look at that, number one. Number two, you want to look at what your customers are asking about. What are they struggling with? What are they having challenges with? What questions are they asking to drill down in? That's going to help you discover what rises to the top in terms of how we build these things called clusters. I'm going to explain clusters in just a moment. So this discovery process, wildly important. It's a combination of what does your brand want to own in terms of authority? And sometimes you can get down to very, very small levels. I had a customer last week, we were demoing this, and she said, I want to own fountain pens, right? I won't tell you who the customer was, one of our favorites for sure. We don't have any favorites, but we love this customer. And I'm like, wow, that's interesting. That's pretty niche-y, right? Great, I love it. It literally came up with 8 guides. It came up with 8 clusters, topic areas around fountain pens. I'm like, there are 8 topics. Then underneath each one had 8 to 10 guides. So there was like 100 guides on fountain pens that she could choose from and select from. I was like, wow, that's really cool. I call that a micro topic or micro cluster. And I think of those topics are very narrow. In fact, the more narrow they are, in some cases, the better they are because you're an authority in a niche within a niche within a niche. Fountain pens for writers. That's a niche, right? So think about that. I love that example. Think about that. Now, we're going to work our way down this slide to step 2, create. Create is where we're going to build the authority. And how we build the authority is we generate clusters. Clusters essentially are topic areas or micro topic areas that you want to own, right? Now, the AI engine will generate them for you. In fact, they'll generate and say, here are the clusters you want to start with. So our engine actually tells you exactly where to start. Or you can tell the engine, you know what, I want to start in this area. I want to start in this area as well. Now, for every cluster, there's something called a core guide, okay? Just get this framework in mind. We got a cluster over here. We got a core guide over here. They are connected. The core guide is not for humans. It can be read by humans, but it's not for humans. It's for the AI search engine. It's generated specifically for that. We don't necessarily display it on your site. Yes, it is a file on your site, but we don't display it necessarily. And what it does is it has expert information. It has research. It has data. It has key insights. And most importantly, it has the links to every one of the guides within that cluster. And again, a cluster can have 5 guides, 10 guides, 15 guides, 20 guides, maybe 25, depending on the topic area, or even more. So and actually the tighter they are, the better they are, right? Okay. So now a core guide is going to lead into the guides that we're going to create. So we're going to, in this particular example, we've got a comfort guide, we've got a waterproof guide, we've got a terrain guide, we got a fit and support guide. And we might even have some guides specific, a lot of guides will be specific to your products. In fact, a lot of the information comes from your products. And that's what they want. They want your information. That's what makes you unique to the AI search engines is all the product information that you have. All right. So we build out these guides, we connect them up to a core guide, i.e. a cluster or a core guide, and that's what we look at. Then what we do is we, or you, either way, I'm just telling you how we do it, and this is education for you. We connect them to what we call pillar pages. Now, pillar pages in the e-commerce world, because if you do see pillar pages, I wanted to make sure you knew what that meant, is product pages. Those are our pillar. In our world, those are product pages or pillar pages. So what we do is we connect every guide up to product pages that are relevant. We connect every product page up to guides that are relevant. We connect all the guides to the core guide, and we connect every guide to every other guide. Not everyone, but the ones that matter or make sense. We also do the last part of the connecting, which is connect up to collections as well. It loves to look at your collection pages, your category pages, and things like that. So we want to connect all of that. That network reinforces all of this. And that's the key to the entire equation. What you're going to get from this, more visibility on the AI answers. I'm going to show you how this works. More qualified traffic. What's the interesting part of all of this is, I'll cover this. Well, I'll cover it in just a second. More conversions and more revenue, right? We hope. Now, this doesn't work unless you do continuous optimization. I mean, every week, every month. And that's why you need a system to do it. That's why you need our software, because we're going in and we're hitting a button called optimize, optimize, optimize. because I want to look at that cluster that I created last month and I want to say, how can I optimize this? How's things changed? What do I need to think about differently? What new clusters do I need to add this month? And by the way, on implementation, I want to make sure I give you this advice, which is don't try to implement 25 clusters all at once. Implement like 2 to 3 a month, right? And keep it going and maintain the ones that you currently have. That is the best practice that all the advice that I've read, seen, heard is out there that says, can you do 25 in a month? Sure. Is it advisable? No, because I want you to make sure that you handcraft these a little bit, right? We're going to have systems and software to do most of the heavy lifting, but I want to make sure it's all reviewed as well. All right. Now, there's one other piece of secret sauce that I haven't covered yet that is super, uber cool. Now, as you probably know, or you may know, we have a product called the AI Shopping Assistant. It's for conversations from customers. It's wildly successful, ridiculously successful. I'm not selling you the product. Don't worry. Okay. Our conversion rate when we use our product is anywhere between 2x and most of the cases, and I kid you not, 4x higher conversion when they go through our engine. Now, they already have a higher buyer intent when they actually are interacting with our AI shopping assistant where they're asking questions and doing product discovery. But 400% increase in conversion, I have every report updated every hour to show this data. I can't believe I've never seen anything like it in e-commerce. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So what I want to tell you, I don't want to talk about that product other than the fact that by having something that will encourage customers' conversations, encourage customers to talk online and to inquire, you're going to learn so much that you feed back into your GEO information. So our product looks at all the conversations. We're looking at everything the customer's doing. We could even feed in, or you could feed in your chat conversations. A lot of your chat conversations are questions about customer service. What we want are the product discovery questions, right? So we literally have hundreds of thousands of conversations, and you would as well, based on what customers are asking. So we already know, we summarize that information, we spit it back out to you to say, hey, and we use it as part of the overall generation of the ideas of the discovery of what you need. Then from those conversations, and then, by the way, totally unique content that GEO loves, AI search engines love, because it's information that they wouldn't have otherwise. They have actual conversations. They have actual data on conversation. Those AI conversations, along with what you want to master in terms of your topic areas, go into the discovery process. Then they go into the cluster creation process. Then they go into the guide process that answers questions specifically about actual questions customers are asking. And this just loops again and again and again. This is crazy. It's crazy magical. It's crazy wonderful. Okay. And reason I went off on that, and I sound like a madman because I always do. Most of you know me. But this discovery in terms of making highly unique content based on what your customers are asking, so the rest of the world can get directed based on those questions back to you, is real intelligence. Okay. All right. Now, so the two products obviously work together. You don't need both. You can just start with the GEO stuff, get going with that. But then eventually we want to feed in customer generated conversations around product discovery and bring that together. And then you've got this amazing thing that is going to work wonders for you. And by the way, nobody's doing this. No one. I mean, no one, right? This is just getting started. So, you guys have such an opportunity. All right. I wish I had a store. I need a store. All right. Because I want to make a lot of money in an e-commerce site. All right. So what it actually drives actual success in AI search. I just want to summarize for you. We're almost done. I'm almost to the demo. I want to get you out of here on time, if not early. All right. First thing is, got to answer real questions, real buyer questions. I just gave you that, right? That discovery, those customer conversations, anticipated follow-ups, whatever they have, you want to cover. You want to also be the domain authority on topics. Pick the topics. Right now in your brain, I want you to come up with 3 topics you want to dominate. Make them narrow, and we'll go and we'll do it. We'll just do it right now. We'll do it in the engine, right? I'll do it live for you. Well, I won't do it live for you today, but I'll do it live for you in any demo. Then what we want to do is we want to make sure the content is structured so AI understands it. Answer first, clarity, FAQ. It loves FAQs. It loves tables. It loves comparison charts. It loves to make sure that you have H1, H2, H3. Make it easy for the AI engines to extract. That clarity will get you ranked, get you as part of the answer. And then finally, connect it to products. It wants to be connected to your entire product library, your collections, your special pages, everything you have. But again, if you think your current blog is going to do all of this, it ain't. It's not going to do it. All right. So I threw this in there because I'm interested in it, and you will be too. If you want to do this on your own, you can. It's really hard because ultimately after a couple of clusters, it will get too hard. But if you wanted to start experimenting, you could do this. And I wanted to give you this slide around how to make a really good guide. So when we generate guides, we look for 4 main things. There's actually a couple more that we look for that I didn't include, like local information and such. But what are the topic areas, and what does AI really love? What do these AI search engines really love? First of all, buyer's guides. Not your current buyer's guides. No, I'm sorry. They all have to be thrown out. Well, they don't have to be thrown out. They're for SEO, but they're not for GEO. They're not structured right. They're just simply not structured right. I can run your current buyer's guides and reformat them into a hybrid guide. Easy peasy, no problem. But you can't use what you currently have. I'm sorry. Again, you can keep it on your website. It's great for human reading and it's great for SEO, but it's not great for this new world. Now, and I've said it like 10 times, so I won't say it again, I promise. But buyer's guides, a best X for Y, comparisons, recommendations. It wants to drive intent. It wants to help your buyers make decisions, or help buyers in general make decisions. Second thing it loves is how-to and use cases. It loves use case-based guides. How do I do this? How do I fix this? How do I solve a problem? Loves it. So that's more, I'm not going to say generic content, but that's more content that will integrate your products with the how-to stuff, right? Love it. Decision frameworks. This is the third type, which are basically like, how do I decide on what product to purchase? So trade-offs, pros and cons, comparison charts. Oh, loves that. Key factors. What are they looking for? All of that, it starts to build trust and authority when you can give them a decision framework for how to think about making this purchase, small or large. And then finally, product connected answers. And basically what that just means is, recommending. It wants you to write articles recommending your top picks and why those are your top picks, and direct paths to solutions. It needs to give solutions. This isn't just, they want to drive traffic, because ultimately AI's mission is to ultimately get the ultimate answer. And the ultimate answer is maybe buying a product that solves a problem. In many cases it is. That's at least the business we're in right now. So we can see kind of that guide to product, to answer, to purchase. Everything about this is helping the customer decide, answering questions so they can make a decision. And the more complete and clear you are, the better off you are as well. So let AI become the answer. We're almost done here. Getting more visibility. I want to talk just briefly about this idea of high intent traffic. Now, even though the slide says your traffic will increase 20 to 50%, I'm not sure. That's what the research says. But more importantly, this is really wildly important. A customer coming from an AI search engine is a much higher qualified buyer, 2x to 3x higher conversion when they come from GEO, when they come from the AI search engine. Period. Because they've already done the research. And by the way, I live and breathe this every day. I see this in our current AI shopping assistant. That's exactly what we're seeing, because they're already involved in the process. They're not browsing anymore. They are much more down the line of making the purchase. And that's what the AI search engines are actually doing. So you might even see a traffic drop off not from GEO, but you'll see less traffic, higher conversion, more money as well. That could happen as well. Now, the other side of this coin, though, and why traffic could increase, is you have anywhere between 10x to 50x more entry points with GEO than you do with SEO. And here's why. Because a customer in the SEO world, you're basically doing keywords, and you got 1 keyword, 10 keywords, 100 keywords. AI doesn't work that way, right? So any one prompt, any one thing, I'm looking for the best running shoe for my flat feet. I have flat feet. That question could be asked 50 different ways. AI is smart enough to be able to figure that out and still match it back to your content. So all of a sudden you're exploding your entry points, because you don't need to figure out keywords anymore. You just need to figure out topics. Your new mantra, not keywords, is topics and authority. That's your new mantra as well. All right, real quick, you already know this. The window's open now, and it's not for long. There's just no question. Late movers are going to experience less traffic. Their competitors are going to own the answer by default. You're not going to lock in the answer with your brand. It's going to be harder, slower, and more expensive to actually catch up. We know that. If you act now, and for the next year, I would say you need to seed these, become the domain authority, and you're good to go. Again, I would give it a year. That the game is going to kind of not be over, but you're going to then having to be catch up in a year. That's my guess, just based on the numbers that I see. Retailers are slower to move. I get it. And not a lot of them have moved to this now. They're just starting to think about it, and they're finding different solutions and so forth. By the way, there are other solutions out there that do different things. It's GEO, but it's not this GEO. You have to do this. You don't have to do those other ones, but you have to do this as well. and they're more external to your site, the other solutions. This is internal to your site. This is what you own, and you will own it. Sometimes people say, well, we don't even need e-commerce sites anymore. AI will do everything. No, that's not going to happen. We still need you. You know, back in the they all say brick and mortar would go away. It never did. It's stronger than ever. Well, maybe not stronger than ever, but it's strong. And the same thing is here. You're never going to go away. The brands aren't going to go away. It's ridiculous. I've had so many people say Amazon's going to take over the world. No, they own a lot of the world, but they don't own everything. Every brand still is generating millions upon billions and billions of dollars of e-commerce. All right, let's see it in action now. Hang on. I'm only going to do a 5-minute demo here, and I'm going to wrap up and give you the rest of your morning back. But let's see this in action, how retailers win at the AI game. What we want to do is we want to find topics that are appropriate for your customers. That's going to be your job or our job collectively. And then we're going to create guides, and then we're going to connect to products, and then we're going to drive revenue. All right, so give me a second here just to switch over. I'm going to go ahead and remove this, add to stage my demo, and switch on over here. And I don't think you need to see me in the demo because I want you to see the whole screen. All right, so the first thing that you need to do, this is a product detail page. Let me get over to my right screen here. There we go. Okay, good. All right, so this is a product detail page. Let me scroll up here real quick. So it's a lovely site, Moskin, one of our favorites as well. It's a great brand for Ayurvedic skincare. It's wonderful. So it's very specific, and oh my goodness, all the guides that they can generate from this are incredible. All right, so first thing we have to do is I want you to look at this. Take a screenshot if you need it, or go to Moskin, either way. What you can do is here, this is what we want to inject. And I say inject, we're actually not injecting it, we're laying it onto your product detail page. A nice accordion widget, doesn't have to be an accordion, with this information, okay? This is the information that you need on your product detail pages. This is just step one. This is kind of the basic. This is a little bit of just, you know, a mouche bouche. Okay, I didn't say that right. Right, this is the beginning, right? This was small. We built this actually just like for fun, right? And then we're like, oh God, we have to have this on every page. Every category page, every product page. Product overview, key benefits, and let me just show you each one of them. They're not long as well. It's not a lot of information here. Who is this product best for? By the way, we're answering specific structured content for the GEO search engine, okay? Common questions, loves common questions. Just 3, 2 or 3 is fine. And then buyer considerations. Notice that a customer could read this and they're fine reading all of this. Nothing is offensive to them. Nothing is not useful to them necessarily. I do recommend putting it at the bottom of the page. It's not like keyword stuffing like you did in the day where you had a bunch of keywords sitting on the bottom of the page and nobody knew what they were. This is actually very friendly, very nicely formatted and such. Then the creme de la creme right below that. But even just if you had that, and that's all we did, of course, that's not all we're going to do. That would be a good start, right? You need to do that like now, right? That, and I would say putting FAQs, or what we call product answers, on your website. Just like those 2 things are super easy. They're not even that expensive. Those I would do right away because that's going to start to help this whole process. The next thing that I want you to do is guides. So this is a list of the top 5 guides for this particular product, okay? And we can click on over to any one of these guides as well. Let me go and show you a guide and what a guide looks like. Now, guides are user-friendly, so you can we have an AI generator to generate photos, or you can upload one of your own. The guides actually have links embedded into them that link over to products, category pages, collection pages that are injected by they're injected by our engine and validated on a regular basis, right? Because this is laying on your page, right? This is not dynamic content. It is static content. So we have a link validator that validates all these links on an ongoing basis, right? And you can see nicely formatted, easy to read, but notice the structure, bullets, numbered lists, right? Not a lot of fluffy SEO text that you all used to love. Well, you don't love it anymore because it's gone. Now, this is a GEO guide, but what we came out with earlier this week, and literally it's like right being released into our software, is the hybrid guide. SEO, GEO, combined, boom, into one magical guide. So in our software, you can say, I want GEO only, I want SEO only, or I want the combo. We kind of think everybody's going to go with the hybrid, so we may not even offer that, but you can direct these any way you want. FAQs, it loves FAQs. Like, not tons of them, but it loves FAQs. Every article will have FAQs. And then we've got a collection link down below. And then what we did as a special add-on is we took the related products that are associated. We just took 5, but you can set that to 6, 7, 8, 10, whatever. The related products that are talked about in this article are nice photos in a carousel, clickable to the actual product pages as well, okay? So that would be what a guide looks like as well. And I just kind of want to show you. I'm just going to show you another thing one of our customers did. So just started with us with this product, and they added the word guides to they have their blog, but then they added this word guides. And guides actually creates a directory page automatically for you in Shopify and other systems that will do the same thing. And then this just kind of looks like one of his blog entries as well. This is one of our guides, nicely formatted in the style of a site. It's got some other posts here. It can be integrated with links and all that other stuff as well. So you have that. Here, hold on. Let me get back here. Okay, good. And let's go ahead. And I want to now show you. Sorry, I'm just losing my cursor here. I want to show you how all this is actually generated. All right, so this is our engine. Might be a little bit hard to see, but very valuable. Just 2 or 3 minutes on this. The first thing that I did is a discovery crawl. And what I told it is I just gave it a generic comment. I said, generate 5 clusters that will boost my revenue. Okay, great. And it did that. So what it does is it will follow your instructions, or you don't give it any instructions and it will just figure it out itself. But what's cool about this is it generated these clusters, right? Remember, that's the starting point of it. So we can see what a cluster looks like. I wanted to show you what a cluster looks like. Start here, build your first Moleskin routine. All right, good. And then what I did is I generated the guides underneath it. Now, I haven't generated the content of the guides, I just generated the guides. And I even tell you over here why this is important, so you can determine whether or not you want to select this or reject this. And you go back through here, bundled recipes, scrubs, butters, and oils, outcomes. Okay, very product oriented as well. Replenish and subscribe. Okay, that was, I probably wouldn't select that as the first one. Lip care, micro journeys, right? So it wants all this information, and some of it's, I say generic, some of it's just about having, the ability to have plump lips and the benefits of that, and some of it are specifically around the actual product itself, like, that's talking about the actual product itself. Now, what you do is you select any one of the guides that are generated, or you just regenerate the discovery crawl. The discovery crawl doesn't commit anything to a database, so it can be literally regenerated. You can play with it like a playground. It's your tool to playground. It's your playground. Now, what we do from here is then we have our clusters that are loaded up here. And so these are the clusters that I'm working with, right? And they're in different states, right? And I want them to be in different states. We've got the total number of guides, and we have what's called the stub. The stub is just the topic, the guide topic. And then what we do is we create the drafts, and then we publish, right? And so they're all going to be at different stages. So you have a management tool to know where you are with every cluster. From here, you actually can see the individual, this is the individual cluster and all the guides underneath it. And you can see the status. In fact, I published this guide because you saw it on the website, and I'll show it to you in just a moment. But what's really great is then I can work with each one of the guides. I can go in here and you can see, I'm not going to go in detail in this, but you can see that we've got the all-important slug. That's wildly important. How this actually appears on your website and the slug that's used is wildly important, and under what directory and so on and so forth, that everything gets set up. Got to have the core directory. Underneath the core directory are the guides that are associated with that core directory. So just remember that. Again, our product automatically does that, but if you're doing this on your own, remember that that's wildly important. That's how it figures everything out. If you don't do that step, you're going to be screwed. All right. Then we do an excerpt, metadata, keywords, all generated with AI. We also generate an image as well that's broken right now, but it was there just a minute ago. And then we have a guide editor. And if you wanted to edit this guide, you actually could go in here and edit this guide to your heart's content. However, you could also just regenerate it and give it some more instructions like, hey, I want it to do this, or I want it to do that. And then finally, we have the associations automatically made to products and the associations automatically made to related guides. That is the underpinnings of how this works. And I wanted to show you that so that you can kind of see how it all comes together. All right. Okay, guess what? We are done with our demo. I wanted to get you out of here and off to your day. Thank you so much. I hope this was educational. I wanted to connect enough dots quickly enough to even be able to start this on your own. If you wanted to start this, you know how to build guides, you know what they need to contain, you know how to connect everything up, and you're really getting the concepts of how this works. Of course, if you want us to help you with it, we're here. We're just becoming experts on this. I've been researching this for about 6 months. We've been building the product for the last 4 months, and we released it today. We still have ways to go on the product. We still have so many different things we want to do with it, but it's really good now. I think it's the best in the industry, honestly, because there's not a lot out there that actually do what we do, where you become the authority. That's the key. We want to make sure you are the authority on every topic that you want to own, and we can help you do that. Now, we do also offer a managed service around this. So you're like, Ken, this is great, but can you just do it for me? Yes, we can do it. At a reasonable price? Yes. Cheaper than my SEO agency? Yes. And oh, by the way, if you want to bring in your SEO agency, then they can use the tool. Because right now, SEO agencies don't know how to do this, unfortunately. And you already know that. They're talking GEO, but there's no software to do it. This is a system that's interconnected, that's updated daily, that makes everything work. Otherwise, it's going to be suboptimal and you're not going to get indexed nearly to the degree that you should. And it's easy and it's not that expensive. So give us a call if you want. But this is an educational webinar. I don't want to sell anything right now. I do want to thank you so much for attending today. And I want to wish you all the best. And we'll either reach out to you. If you want a copy of the presentation, a copy of the recording, either one or both, we're happy to send.